Okay. All right. We're going to go over an offer loop right now. And so we're in the loop. It is still the category of pre-offer because, but before you actually send the offer to the listing agent, we're in pre-offer status. And then the view details hopefully have all been filled out. Let's just go over some stuff. You should have people like the listing agent, loan officer, escrow title in here, buyer's agent, the buyer and the seller. This information filled out about where the buyer came from. Fill out all this information on the property, as well as all of this information on the property. And then we're not in contract yet, so we don't have set contract dates yet. So again, the view details kind of grow with the transaction. So what we're really going to look over right now is the contract documents. And we're just going to start at the very top and just start looking, or I'll go in a little bit more of a rational order. So you'll remember you have the agency form that was signed that you filled out at the very beginning of working with this buyer. So that's done. I would be checking that. I'd also be checking for your C21 buyer seller disclosure. And you could have taken the time to add in the seller's name and the property address. But it's difficult once you have this live signature, we call it, on there. So there's actually a way that you can make a copy of this and flatten it, and then you can do things on top of this document. Okay. We're going to wait for a second and see if the buyer needs to waive any of these things. But if they are going to get a seller's disclosure, if they are going to get a warranty, if they are going to get an inspection, we can probably just leave it like this. Okay.
But that depends on the seller, right?
Yes. Depends on the seller. Yep. And so, first thing I want to go here to is the MLS, just get an idea of this property that we're looking at. Okay. And know that I have that information there. I'm also looking at the IMAP, and I'm just checking these sellers' names. I'm going to be cross-referencing these on the contract. I'm also looking at the size of the lot. That's one thing that I check on. And I'm always kind of also looking here at the year built, because that would let me know if we needed to do a lead-based paint or not. Okay. Also, when I was in here in this broker synopsis, kind of seeing if there was an HOA, which would lead me to expect an HOA addendum. So now we're going to go here to the pre-qualification or proof of funds. So we know that we've got that. I'm looking at a FHA mortgage. Okay. So that's given me some information. So it's kind of given me an idea of what I should be looking for in this contract. So first of all, I'm going to check the seller's names. Those match the IMAP. Secondly, the buyer's name is going to match the pre-approval. I know on this pre-approval, it's an example. It says Joe Buyer, but I would be looking for the names to match the pre-approval. Here's the address, the legal description. Not really expecting the washer or dryer to be included. Might want to look back just on that broker synopsis and see if the washer and dryer. You see here that the appliances included are the washer and dryer.
Okay.
But we didn't see that added on the offer. So that's one that I'll usually kind of double check. Okay, so we'd want to add here, oops. Come on, why am I not being able? Washer and dryer. Okay. And, oh, did you already sign this? Luis?
Yeah, I already sent it to sign.
To send it to sign. Okay. So when you guys are first starting out and you're writing your first few offers, what you want to do, I'm going with you how I will look through your offer to know if it's ready to get signatures. So what I'd like you to do is just give me a text when you've written up the offer so I can look over it. And, you know, we can either be on the phone together while I'm doing it, or eventually it gets really fast and I just have to look, and sometimes I'll just text you one or two things. But if you don't send it to me until after they've signed, then if I make any changes, then we've got to have them sign again. So,
Okay. Dana, is
yes.
there any way, I think there's a way of thought about going over these documents, right? Something like, okay, check the appliances. Like agents tend to forget the appliances. They tend to forget because they're like, you start signing everything, you start feeling everything, and then you have to go back certain times or
right.
certain amount of times. Is there any way of thought that you like, okay, I already finished with all my paperwork. Let me check if I remember to this and this and that. What would you go over again?
Well, yeah, what I'm going over with you right now is what I would go over, because all of these places that I'm telling you about are places where I find mistakes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, everything that I've told you that I look for, at any given time, there's a mistake with that on different people's stuff. So yeah, I would look for that. You know, like I said, I'm looking for the seller's name. I'm looking for the buyer's name. Typically people don't mess up in this section. I'm always looking for that washer and dryer or additional stuff there. Then we get here, I'm looking for the escrow name. This is a big one that I'm looking for.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, I'm looking that we have something that makes sense in the financing, especially since we've got FHA. Looking for balance there. I'm looking for a reasonable date here to get an answer. See, now, if you had not gotten it signed yet, you know, I know when you were doing this, this was a reasonable date. But again, if you were showing me this to get your buyer to sign it right now, I would say, well, you can't do the 27th because it's already the 28th. So okay. I'd be looking for here some date like the 29th or 30th would be best. Okay. It's FHA closing on the 9th is pushing it a little bit. But I'm going to assume, you know, I might, you know, in the very beginning say to you, hey, did you make sure with the lender that you can get it done in that period of time? But, you know, eventually I'm just going to, you know, as long as it's kind of reasonable. I mean, if it said, you know, August 9th and it's an FHA mortgage, I'm going to say, there's no way, like that can't happen. But this is definitely within the realm of possibility.
Yeah, when we did that, we checked the date for a comfortable date, and it was like, I think it was like Labor's Day, so we couldn't do it.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so that's, you know, right there in the middle, and that's good. This
so Dana,
is
normally speaking, is what, a month and a half to do a closing?
FHA is 45 days.
Oh, that's right. We do have those dates. Okay, never mind. Okay.
So I'm looking here, down here at assignability is the next place I go to. And remember, this one is, this very last one is almost always checked off. May not assign. Okay, now I'm coming to the financing. Yes, it's financing. Great. 45 days on the FHA. We put in a cap for the rate, which is fabulous, in 30-year term, and it's fixed in 5 days. That looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we want title evidence 20 days prior to closing. That's okay. Now, Luis, why did you select this buyer shall designate closing agent? That's going to cost the buyer about $2,000 more.
I don't remember.
Okay, so if we don't have a really, really, really good reason of picking this one, we never pick the second one. We always pick the first one.
I think it was, I got confused with the closing of my aunt since she
Yes.
designated.
Yeah, don't base anything on that one closing, because that was a weird closing for us. No, on these, I always want to see you checking off the first one for the most part. Okay. Here, yeah, if it was your aunt's, it would be checking off this last one. Okay, Louise.
Okay.
Yep, we have here that the seller is going to pay the warranty, but you have the warranty not exceeding $50.
Yeah, I don't know why I took those numbers, but Dana, a question first.
Yep.
So if we are representing the buyer, we should select on that option the buyer and on the other option the seller, or is it like something?
It is customary that the seller, customary here in Central Florida, that the seller pick the closing agent and the seller pays for the title insurance, pays for the owner's title insurance. That costs in the neighborhood of a couple $1,000s. So very, very, very rarely does the buyer ever make the decision to pay that additional cost, because it's just not worth it to them. So, you know, I can think of a couple investors that do so much business and they want their title company to be in charge of it. They will pick that option, but that's the only scenario that I can think of that we ever pick the second one. Okay? Yeah, okay. Yep. Okay. So we really want to pick this first one, 158. Okay. In terms of the home warranty, this is great with the seller paying it and you give the name of the insurance company, but $500 is going to be about where we want to see that. Okay. Most places you can get for First American home warranty that we recommend, you get a really great warranty for $519. Okay. This is fine. This is great. And then we come down and we've got 15 days for inspection, just as long as you know that that's a pretty long time. That's not a real great negotiation position. If it's necessary, that's fine. But a lot of times, because a buyer will be trying to get a better price, or they'll be trying to, you know, get the deal, we see this shortened to 7 to 10 days often. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to go, because all of this is standard, and then I'm going to see what you attached to the contract. And yes, the HOA is definitely something that we need to attach, but you never attach E and F. It's always E or F. And in this case, it's going to be E because it's an FHA mortgage. If it was conventional or cash, then we would go with F. Okay, so whatever you guys need to do to kind of commit that to memory, if you want to look in your books back in the sales loop or in the sales contract section, you want to make sure that you've indicated this to yourself, that it's either E or F. But this is a very, very common mistake that people make, and it
No, I
really
thought
confuses the deal.
I have written it was like part of the exercise doing E and F. So yeah, must got confused. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it will be one of those always, but just one of those. Okay, and another thing that I would be looking for that I haven't seen here, and that's fine, is if you wanted to get a closing cost credit for the buyer. Okay, so we would expect to see that here in the additional terms section. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add it just so you can see. But this is where we would say seller will credit. Here's it pops up the clause, and the seller will credit, and we can put in a dollar amount, but usually it's a percent. Seller will credit 3% of purchase price toward buyer's closing costs, prepaid, and reserve items. So we could put that there. That's often done in a deal that is getting closing cost from the seller to the buyer. In this case, because we're asking for 3% back, we're really not offering this for full $339,900. We're really offering 97% of that, just so you understand that. So you're really offering $329,703. Okay, I'll show you that with the calculator.
Let's change it then.
But you don't change that amount. You leave it here. This stays the same, but you just know that you're offering the net. So we take oh wait, I need to share. Okay, so you guys can see my calculator?
Yes.
Right? And so I know that 3% is going back to the buyer. So 97% is $329,703. So I know that that's the net amount that we're really offering the seller. And again, it's $10,000 less. Okay. So you should just realize that. Okay. Let me get you back to sharing. So now this offer looks really good. So we're going to save that. And we're going to now look at the addenda. So we have the HOA. All right. And very good. You put the buyer's initials in there. The problem is this is a blank one. Okay. You don't ever have your buyer initial and sign a blank one. If you'll remember, this was one that we had from the uploads. This was in the MLS. So you've got to go and get the one that's in the MLS and upload it here. So I'm going to actually get rid of this one because this one doesn't work. I'm archiving it. So what I'll need you to do, Luis, is go upload the one that was in the MLS.
Okay, I'm going to add documents and then I'll put the reference and I upload.
Well, have you downloaded it from the MLS? You can't add the document until you download it from MLS to your computer. Does that make sense?
So you're gonna, I'm sure you already showed us how, but can you recap on that as well, how to find an MLS?
Yes. Okay. Are you looking at my MLS right now?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know if it takes you with me. I think it does. Okay, we go into matrix. And I'm going to use the speed bar, which is this bar right up here. The address is 3530 Hart Pine.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's going to take me straight to the property. This is the one that we're looking at active. Occasionally, it'll come up with many records because it's been in the MLS multiple times, but it's only been in the time right now that it is. And what I'm looking for is this little paper clip. Okay. I can see it here on this single row view. If I actually open up into this bigger view, you see the paper clips are right there.
Yes.
Okay, so I click on the paper clips.
Yes, I got that. I downloaded it, but I didn't remember.
Yeah, and so we have a seller's disclosure, which you did upload that one, but this second one is the HOA disclosure. When you click on it, it immediately downloads it to your computer. Okay, wherever you have your computer.
You literally save on your computer, then you add to your loop.
Then you add document and you do the computer. You add from the computer. So this document's going to be wherever you told your computer to save downloads. Usually there's a download folder that most people have it saving in there, but it's based on what your computer does. In here, we're going to come in and add a document. Did you already do it, Luis?
No, I haven't. What I wanted to ask you was if I uploaded this PDF and then I add the signatures like manually, right?
Yes.
Got it. That was something I wasn't quite sure because since we have all the documents like already autofilled and stuff, I didn't know how it worked.
Right. Yeah. The reason that we use the template documents whenever we can is because those signature fields are already, the signature and initial fields are already in there. But when it's an upload from your computer, those fields are not going to be there. So that's where you're going to have to add the initial fields, add the signature fields.
Okay.
So
I'll add it.
You have to literally print out, sign, and then scan.
No. Nope. Luis, did you add the HOA document? Or do you want me to?
No, I can do it. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay. As soon as he adds it, Mary, I'm going to show you.
Okay. Once it's in a loop, and then you can do the the digital signature.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know how to do that. My question on that I figured out when I was doing the listing, I actually just realized I did the wrong homework. But anyway, we talk about that
okay. Yeah, because I didn't want you guys to do the listing agreement first, but I realized that you did it, and I was like, okay, well, that's fine. You can do that too.
Because when you said I need you guys to do 2 homework, and then you said fill out the form about the information in your own house, and then we're gonna go to a contract. I saw you talk about our house going to a contract.
Right. No, I was talking about writing a contract on that sales loop. Yeah. That was the homework that I had given you from the sales loop class.
Yeah, that's good that you're recording this because I'm gonna do it then. The right one, follow those directions and make sure I get right. So what my question is then, once you click and add a signature, how you make this disappear later? Because I realized once I did that, the signature is there all the time and you can't get rid of it. It's like, okay, I don't want to do any signature anymore. And but when you kind of move your mouse, it still says signature, even though I don't want to do anymore.
Hold on. I'm not quite sure what you're saying.
Yeah, I'll show you when you get to signature.
Okay, here's this. See how the HOA came up? And what this right here is something that Louis added. he added this right here. He came up here, did add initials, and drug the initial over here and assigned
Yeah.
it.
Yes,
Okay.
I know that one. Uh-huh.
And he did the same thing with the signature down here.
So the signature, when I did, I was like, okay, I'm done with signature now. I want that to disappear from my mouse, and it didn't. It just,
Okay,
I
so if you add a signature like this,
okay.
and you're saying you decide you don't want this one anymore.
No.
See, and then you would assign it
Okay.
like that. But if I decide that this is wrong, okay, I just come to the box that I don't want, this one.
Yeah.
And you see this X up in the top?
Yes.
That gets rid of it.
Okay. And it's the same with initials. Same steps.
Yeah,
Okay.
if I wanted to get rid of this initial, see how the X is right there?
Yes.
But I mean, I don't, because the buyer needs to initial there.
That's the right one. Thank you.
But yes, this is very good, Louis, with the HOA. And now, did you go in and add the initial fields? Yeah. So let me model this.
Let me do that. Let me do that.
Well, let me do the first one, Louis, just so I can show Mary, and then I'll let you do the rest, okay? So when you're adding initials, you would add initial just like this, and you're gonna assign it to your buyer. Then you would just move down, do the same thing here, assign to your buyer. And you would keep doing this on every page, and then you're going to add a signature box here as well as an initial box. Okay, so go ahead and sit and do those. Finish that up, Louis. And I'm going to look at your FHA addendum. Okay, this is seller, buyer, property address. Already has the buyer's initials. This is purchase price 100, FHA, does not exceed. Very good. This one's great. All right, so as soon as you add all those initial and signature fields on the seller's disclosure, Louis, you're ready to reshare the contract, the HOA, and the seller's disclosure. And then you will have the 4 things that are ready to go, or actually 5 things, because you do send the C21 buyer seller disclosure. You would then send those 5 things over, 6, and the prequal. You would send those to the listing agent as an offer.
Okay, so we can keep these contracts as example for future filling, right?
Yeah, but we're not done with this deal yet. So we will come back to this one. Right now, Louis, all I need you to do is just get signatures on all the offer stuff.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think that was it. So that was your exercise on doing a full offer. And you can imagine that's the goal. We would love to be doing these all the time, right? Yeah. So, and this is by no means the only time we're going to practice this. We're going to practice it again and again and again. But Mary, you now know what I want you to do with this. So you're going to work on this one tonight. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right. The second thing that I wanted you guys to do was to go over the MLS data entry sheet.
Yeah, that was infinite.
It's a very good word, crazy. Infinite.
So
Yes,
much to do in there.
it is. It is. It is. Hold on.
Yeah, then you start like realizing that you don't know if you put everything on the contract, and then you say like, should I be putting this in the contract and not on the MLS, or is it too much, or is it, do I have to get all this detail, or
Right. Right.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
there
And
must be
so
certain things that you really want to stand them out, like make them stand out, and there are something like, hey, just come and see the house, and that's it.
right. So let's go over this and let's see where you guys had some questions. Okay.
Okay.
Date, list price, all of these things, remember with the asterisks, are things that are already on the listing agreement. So there's really, that's where you would figure that out. Special sale provision, listing type, listing service type. Did you guys have a problem with any of this?
Okay, where are you now? I'm sorry, I'm lost here.
Oh, can you see, or you should be seeing my data entry sheet on the computer.
Yes.
It matches with our first page?
No, we're back in your listing agreement section,
Oh,
and we're looking at this residential data entry form that I wanted you all to do on your own house.
yeah, I have the data form, but we did that manually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that what you're looking at now? You look.
Yep. I want you guys to look at yours, and we're going to go down through them, and you guys are going to stop me when you have a question.
Yes.
Dana, but we're looking at some HR documents, our criteria, templates. We're not on
Oh,
this.
you're not looking at the listing agreement. Sorry. Does that make a lot more sense?
There we go.
Okay, sorry. Zoom issues. All right, so was there any questions that you guys had on this first sheet
Let me see here.
about your own home?
Yeah, I put a little something in here. Under, can you hear me, right? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Street name.
Yes.
So I put Yellow Butterfly Road. That's where I live, right?
No,
But
it
then-
should only be Yellow Butterfly, and then street type is road.
That was my question.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Dan is always ahead of us. She's the best. So road.
Yep, road is a street type. In the MLS, this is why I say when you're using the speed bar to just put the name of the street, because MLS definitely has a difference between the name of the street and the street type that it is. Road, boulevard, lane, whatever.
Drive.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we just ignore street, whatever. I don't know what DIR stands for, then post.
This would be if you had a street direction that was after the name. So sometimes it's like Main Street South.
Okay.
And sometimes you see this other street direction pre. Some roads are South Main Street. Okay, so that's a directional thing that would come before or after the street name.
Okay.
It's in different, it just different addresses are different ways. Anything else?
Not for me.
Not for me.
Okay. And obviously, the schools that you put in, just realizing school zones are very hotly contested things. You always make sure that you have the school for the current school year. Okay. And the current school year always changes in May. So basically once we get into the summer, we are in the next year, okay, of school. So The second part, you've got a few things that you have to fill out, like the property style, the front exposure. This one can be confusing. Basically, you want to think of you are standing inside the house, looking out the front door. What direction are you looking at?
Mm-hmm.
When it says face, the front exposure is like if the front of the house was a face looking out, where is that face looking? And you know, your phones have directional things on them, so you can figure out which direction is what with your phone or your car. You know, if you don't have any reference for what directions are what. A lot of times if you're really having a hard time, just call me and I can tell you how to figure it out. Most of the time we're not listing new construction, so that's a no. Now, in all these sections, I hope that you looked at them. Again, they're black, so they're not required, but there's a lot of stuff here that people might be looking for. Can you imagine that someone's looking for a house with an outdoor kitchen? Well, if your house has an outdoor kitchen and they have put in their search criteria of having an outdoor kitchen, if you don't say that you have an outdoor kitchen, your house isn't going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so while these things are not required, we really encourage you to put in everything that applies.
Okay.
Okay.
I put it in my, I tried to do everything that I could, so I didn't skip anything.
Excellent.
But anyways, of course, was some information that I didn't know. Brian is the owner, didn't know.
Okay, so what was that?
He didn't know what the builder model was. He didn't know the builder name.
And that's totally fine. That's totally fine. That's very common that they won't know who the builder was. These are really more geared toward if it is new construction. So, you know, depending upon how old the neighborhood is, people might remember what the model name was. They might remember who was the builder, but that's why they're not required. And most people wouldn't even know, even if you did know, wouldn't know what that means.
So there is no way where you can figure that out. The person even
okay, what neighborhood do you live in?
Summerport.
Okay, give me 1 second. So you all have access to the Dropbox folder.
Yes.
Wait. Okay, I don't think it's in that. Hold on 1 sec.
Sure.
Trying to remember what Penny calls it. We do have a running list. Hold on for a second. Let me go ask Penny where it is. Penny, where'd you put all those floor plans that you communities? Okay. Do I have access to that? Thank you. would be the one that you would ask about that, Mary.
Okay.
She is seeing if I have access to that folder she made or not.
Okay.
And we'll look in just a second. Okay, we'll look in just 1 second when she gives me access to that. Okay, anything else on this page?
Yes, I have a couple of other things I want to help ask quickly.
Okay.
On the section lot features.
Lot
it just says,
features.
on the
Okay.
1, 2, 3, on the 4th section there has a strict private. So I'm just trying to understand what is considerable to be a street private.
Would
Like,
be if there's a gate.
I'm sorry?
If there is a gate.
Oh, so if there is no gate, you don't call street private.
Correct.
Okay. And the other question on the same page on a section patio and the porch features.
I just sent you the invite.
Thank you. The what now?
Patio and the porch.
Oh, down at the bottom. I got you. Patio and porch features.
Yeah, I just got a little confused here because I see on 3rd section, I see porch, a lawn, and then you go to the very next one, it says front porch. So I'm trying to figure out, because it's not rear porch, so what the porch alone is if it's not the front porch?
Well, porch just means that there is a porch. It's not telling you whether it's in the front of the house or the back of the house or the side of the house or whatever. There is, you could just say there's a porch, and but they're not going to know where it is. Then of course, if instead you said, oh, it's a front porch, then that lets them know it's in the front of the house. If there's a rear porch, then that's the porch in the back of the house.
Okay, in that case, it's one or the other. And just above, same situation, says enclosed. And then when you go to the last section here, it says screen. So I have a pool that is covered, right? So we call that, I call that anyways, oh, it's a screen, pool.
It's screened.
So some people call, I guess, enclosed. So
enclosed would suggest kind of a Florida room type scenario where you have those vinyl windows, or you have like the windows that you can open all up, but then you can close. Enclosed kind of gives a little bit more of a shelter feel to it.
Okay, so it is different. That's what I was trying to figure out, if it was the same or not. Okay. And of course, the other one, the screen, it's just having a screen all over with or without the pool, right? Right.
So if you can see the sky through the screen, then it's screened. So you may have a, and I will tell you that porch has a general understanding of being covered.
Okay.
Okay. Whereas a patio has a general understanding of not being covered.
That's
so
right.
if you have a screened porch, the perception is you have a roof and you have screens on the side. Okay. If you had a screened patio, the idea is you have a floor and everything, including the roof, is screened.
Gotcha.
Okay. So again, there is a level of interpretation going on here. I'm giving you the generalized interpretation, but understand this is filled out by listing agents, thousands of different listing agents. we don't know if they have the same perception.
Got you. Now, last one on this page is first I think it's exterior because the punch kind of,
Exterior
delete-
construction, yep.
Exterior construction on section 1 says wood frame. If
Yep.
you look just across, it says wood frame FSC. What is the
It is a
difference?
special kind of wood frame. I don't even know exactly what it's called. Let me just Google it.
Exterior construction.
Yeah, wood frame FSC certified.
Uh-huh.
It is Forest Stewardship Council. It is a sustainability type of wood.
So like you said, it's a more like a specific special kind.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's a tract home, it's not going to be that for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving on to page 3. Any questions? How are you doing, Louis?
No, good.
Okay, so this is where we come to our first pink area. And this is called the if yes, then required. Okay, so we see here, garage. If you check off yes, there is a garage, then what becomes necessary is whether it's an attached garage, how many garage spaces there are, and what are the garage dimensions. Okay, so do both of you have a garage?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so did you check off yes, garage?
I put the yes, and then I put the yes attached garage, and then 2 spaces for the garage.
Uh-huh. And what are the dimensions?
Oh, I don't know that. How we?
Yeah.
What's
well,
in
this
there?
is where you,
yeah.
There's a couple ways to find out. The easiest way is for me to go into IMAP. Hold on one second.
You put an X in that box. I was under the impression that we're supposed not to do anything there.
No, the X means a number times another number. The dimensions.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I just learned that.
Yeah. You know when you see dimensions, when you see 10 by 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I put that in there. I put that in there because a lot of people want to put in the total square footage, and that's not what it's asking you. It's specifically asking you what the dimensions are. So dimensions of rooms, you can always measure them yourself. But the garage is a little bit easier than the other rooms. And the reason is that usually, Mary, what is the number of your house? It's
14520.
520 Yellow Butterfly.
Yes.
Okay. So any of these, if I go here to IMAP, the great thing about Orange County IMAP is that you'll always have this building sketch. Are you guys looking at the IMAP right now?
No.
No? Okay, let me share a different screen. Okay, can you see the IMAP now?
Yes.
Yes. You see up here, up in the top right, there's a place called Building Sketch.
Yes.
When I click on that, it gives me the sketch of the building, okay? It tells me where the garage is, right here. Here's your front porch. Here's your rear porch. This is the interior of the first floor, and
Mhm.
this is the second store. So it's FUS, finished upper story. This is a finished open porch. This is a finished open porch. This is a finished garage. And this is the base area. Okay.
Okay.
So while I can't tell you how big the kitchen is and how big the master bedroom is and how big the living room is, because it's just here in this base and in this upper story, I do know how big the garage is. Okay. And again, you've got this little cutout here. So it's just generalized what the dimensions are. So I would say it's 29 by 20. And do you guys, can you see the, where I'm seeing the 29 here?
Yes.
And the 20 here?
Mm-hmm.
So back on my sheet, I would write here in the garage dimensions, 29 by 20.
That should be accurate.
Good enough.
Okay, good enough, but okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So you took in consideration that extra room the garage has?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Any more questions on this?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm very picky.
That's okay. That's okay.
Exterior features, it says irrigation system. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So now if you cross to the next two sections says sprinkler metered. I'm not sure how that plays. I'm trying to figure out if this is the same thing. Or if it's
No,
not.
an irrigation system just simply means that that sprinkler heads come up and water your lawn.
That's what
a lot of irrigation systems are fed from your water supply. The same water that comes into your house is the water that waters your lawn.
Is that the second one?
The second one is a sprinkler. Again, there's watering of the lawn, but this is from a separate water source. And I believe that all of Summerport is on reclaimed water. I think you do have a separate meter for your sprinkler. Basically, sprinkler metered is going to be less expensive because you're using cheap water to water your grass.
Okay.
And instead of using the water that comes into your house, which is more expensive water because it's clean water, instead of using that water to water your grass.
So I'm guessing the seller is gonna know that, right?
Yes. Yes. And they can get a good idea based on their water bill.
Okay. And last but not least, the outdoor grill. Are they talking about the outdoor on the same session? They're talking about the outdoor grill that is built in, or the one that you kind of can take away anywhere you want it, but the bigger one.
Again, you are only indicating anything on this MLS that is staying. Okay.
So if I have an outdoor, if I have a portable grill that I already know I'm not taking, I'm gonna put that does have a outdoor grill.
If it's a portable grill, if it's on wheels, no. You know, you can tell them that they can keep that, but most people, if you don't want the grill, they don't want your grill either because it's old and rusting and nasty.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now, you know, so for the most part, we're talking about a grill that is built in. Okay. And that would be different from an outdoor kitchen. An outdoor kitchen, typically, you're looking at a water source and you're looking at some sort of refrigerator as well. You're kind of looking for a refrigerator, a water source, and a cooking something is, you know, pretty basic for the outdoor kitchen.
Okay.
as opposed to the outdoor grill that's just the built-in grill. All
Okay.
right. Anything else?
No.
Lewis,
No, good.
you guys were able to fill in all those red areas?
Yeah.
This section is very heavy on the IMAP. You can
Oh,
get
that
all of this stuff
section is,
from
oh,
IMAP.
I'm sorry. That section is the one that I told you I could not figure out how to find in that website.
Okay, well,
Then,
let me just show you. Let me pull up your IMAP. Wait, let me pull this over here. We go here. Okay, can you see the IMAP now?
yes.
Okay, so what, just so you guys can see a little bit of this other stuff, in terms of the roof is indicated down here on the, in the building information. Now, composite fiber sheet, that would, that's really strange. It should say shingle. Do you have a shingle roof?
Let me see. It is a shingle.
It's
I
a
remember.
shingle roof. Yeah, sometimes you see this composite fiber sheet, but I wanted you to see here that the exterior wall here is the stucco cinder block. You get the interior wall, you know, this has some validity. It's not the best in the world, but that's where you might see the roof. But let's look at the legal stuff. So
Okay.
up here, this number at the very top, that's your tax ID. So it
Right.
should be 10 23 27 83 94 02 210. Okay. The tax year, you should have the 2019, and the tax was $6,048. Okay. They don't do cents on the MLS, so round it to the nearest dollar.
Okay.
Additional parcels just means, is there another parcel that's included? And that's a no. The year built is right here, 2006.
Okay.
And zoning is up here. And you see it's a PUD, planned development.
Okay.
Okay. Then the legal description is down here at the very bottom of the left-hand column, Sum Report Phase 5, 58-124, Lot 221.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so where do we get all of these things? Well, taking you back to your, well, I mean, you can just read down here if you want to,
Yes.
but remember we go section, township, range when we have a property ID. So section is 10,
there.
township is 23, range is 27. The plat book and page is right down here at the bottom. It's 58/124. You would always know the plat book and page also because whenever it's a platted legal description, it has the plat book and page as part of the legal description, because that's where it is in this plat book 58 on page 124. Now,
So it would be what? The plat book would be what?
So properties are either
okay, plat book. Okay, got it.
they're either meets and bounds, which you've seen those very large legal descriptions where it goes, you know, point of beginning, run south for so many, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of neighborhoods. in Central Florida. And so most of our neighborhoods, properties like that, even like, you know, municipalities, what happened is they were surveyed a long time ago. They were surveyed by the developer and they were broken into sections, into
Okay.
lots. And they did that survey in a public record with the county or the municipality. And it's in a plat book on a certain page, is that whole neighborhood. Okay. So when they are saying, you know, so basically some reports not probably on just one page, or one in one, well, it may be in the whole plat book, but it's going to have multiple pages because some report's so big. But any particular section that your lot is on, it's already been surveyed and it's in that plat book. So that's what it means.
And what about the little subdivision name?
Okay, hold on for a second. Block and parcel. This one tends to be the most difficult, but it is this block right here. Okay, it's not the census tract block. It is the block and parcel block. So it's O2. If you're looking at the property ID number, we have section, township, range, subdivision, that's the subdivision number, block, and lot. But so very confusing is that a lot of times the block and lot go together to make the lot number, because you'll see this lot number is 221.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So the lot number actually a lot of times includes the block.
Okay.
Confusing. So in block here, you just go by this, you write O2, and the lot number, you know, do you put 210 or do you put lot 221? I really don't care. Okay. Because it's going to all be up in the legal tax number anyways. And then legal subdivision name is going to be this subdivision word right here. Some report phase 5. You see that, Lewis?
Yes.
Lewis?
I put just some report. So you have to put some report.
You can just put some report for this, but you know, it does have different phases. You guys, I am sweating to death. I've got to go turn the AC down. I've got to run to the bathroom. Can we take like about 5 minutes?
Yes.
We want 5 or 10?
Let's make 10.
10.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
I see you.
Oh.
That video.
Okay. All right. So we were just talking, we're getting back here and saying that there is flood zone down at the bottom of the IMAP. And this flood zone, this letter here is what's the flood zone code on the data entry sheet. Then we were looking at lot size, and lot size is here in the middle of the IMAP. It gives both the lot size in acres and the lot size in square footage. And you'll see on your data entry sheet that both of those are required. So you would put for square footage, 6,562 square feet. And for acres, you would put 0.15 acres. You don't have to go to the 4th decimal point. Homestead. How do you know if it's a homestead? Well, it has to do right here with this homestead exemption. Okay. So the homestead exemption was removed in 2019. Presumably, you would ask the current owner if they filed for homestead in 2020 or if they're leaving the homestead off. Okay. This is if there's other exemptions. And a CDD is it's a tax that is actually related to kind of the homeowners association. The developer of the neighborhood borrowed money from the municipality. It's called a community development district. And if it is being paid back, you would see it in the non-ad valorums. Given that here, the non-ad valorums are only stormwater management, waste, street lights, two things of street lights, and we don't see a CDD here, this is going to be no to the CDD. The only CDD neighborhood that we really know around here that we deal with all the time is Stony Brook West. Okay, but again, we see this idea of if CDD was yes, then you see the pink next to it becomes required. Okay.
Okay.
All right, now we're down beds, full baths, half baths. There are a lot of properties that don't have a half bath, but you still have to put 0 there. You have to put a number there. There is square foot heated, okay? And those are both indicated in the building section. You'll see a heated area, and then underneath you'll see a total area. So heated here is 3211, and that is, where did we get that square footage? We got it from public records. Okay, so that would be the source. And if we did fill out the total square footage of 3889, we would also have to put in the square foot source of public records. Fireplace is also one of those. If you check off yes, then you have to put in something about the fireplace. But if you check no, obviously there is no fireplace description. Typically, we will see a fireplace entered here in the other improvements.
Okay.
Additional rooms, again, that's a great thing to do for how people and agents search the MLS. It's not required, but you know, again, it's a great thing to fill out as much as you possibly can. We get to appliances included. Now, if you are not leaving the washer and dryer, you don't check off washer and dryer. Just because it's in the house, this is only if the appliances are staying with the house.
Okay.
And same thing for interior features, only, you know, the stuff that's staying there. Most of that is attached. And then it's asking whether it's furnished or not.
You mean when do you sell the house, if the house is gonna come with furniture or not?
Exactly. This is all that's what's staying, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions on that page 4?
No.
Page 5.
Good.
Anything for page 5?
Yes. I have something about accessible features. What are those? Like, what does like
Accessible would be handicap accessible.
Oh, okay. Handicap.
Mhm.
Handicap. And does it has to be like special built in for handicapped people or something like that?
Well, yeah, I mean, again,
Or what does it make
you know, I mean,
accessible?
most should be accessible doors, but you know, like an accessible stairway would be where you can actually like get on some moving apparatus that goes up the stairs.
Okay.
Right? You know, I mean, we're really looking that the house has been modified to a certain extent. Well, that's the stair lift there.
Okay.
Is there, you know, it's just really, you know, there's certain things that always have to kind of be accessible, like a bedroom and typically a bathroom. But a lot of this stuff, you're really looking that the house is modified or was built to accommodate wheelchairs.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
When it
Moving
comes
on
to
to page 6. Okay, page 6 can be very confusing. What page 6 says at the very top is that you have to have at least 3 rooms on this page. And those rooms are very specific rooms. One of them is a kitchen. So you must have down here the kitchen, what level it's on. Is it on the first story, the second story, the third story?
we don't see your
Wait,
paper though.
we're not looking.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. This
Okay.
means that required room types, there must be a kitchen. So we must see kitchen down here somewhere. The level that the kitchen is on the first story, second story, whatever. How wide is the kitchen and how long is the kitchen? What are the dimensions of the kitchen? Okay, now you can also put in what the primary floor covering is of the kitchen, and you can also put the room features, but these are not just any words that you make up. These things are drop down when we enter them. Well, also when you enter them, I think in the MLS, but these primary floor coverings are only these options up here. Okay, you can't make up your own. Room features, they are only these room features here. Okay, you can't make up your own stuff. So if it's not here, it doesn't exist. Well, I mean, it does exist, but it can't be put on this page. Okay, so you've got to have a kitchen. You've got to have a master bedroom. And then you have to have a living space, which is either a living room or great room. You can call it, now, if they have both, you can have both. You just can't, you have to have at least one of these things. And honestly, you know, typically speaking, if you have one living space, it's called a great room. Okay, especially if it's incorporated with a dining area. Typically we see living room be a one living space that tends to be a little more formal. And then you will see a family room. Okay. And that tends to be another living space, but more informal. Okay. However, there's no set definition for any of these things. We just generally understand, you know, that in this section, you're going to go with the main living space, and you have to have it along with the level it's on, the width and the length. Okay. Now, why would you not put all of the rooms that you can, so you can give the people an idea of what they're getting, you know, and that's great. So, but again, there is what's absolutely necessary, and then there's what you should be doing. Okay. Did you guys have any questions on this? Now, you cannot take this from the previous MLS. Okay. You've got to have some sort of reasonable, you know, belief in what you're doing. So you either measure it yourself, or if you have a floor plan, that makes life so much easier. Okay. Speaking of which, let's see if I've got, let me go into Dropbox and I can show you Um, all right. Do you have any idea? You're not in Eden's Hammock, right? I think you were a Park Square home.
You asking me?
Yep.
I have no idea.
Okay. You've got a 2-story, right?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Does that kind of look like your house?
Yes.
Fairview, let's look at it. You've got the living and dining room, then your kitchen and the family room over here.
Yes. My kitchen, it's like, you know, it's one of those kitchen that you overlook the family room that has this bar.
Are you looking at what I have on the screen right here?
Yes.
Is this the floor plan?
Dining room, living room, dining room.
You walk into the little foyer and the stairs are right in front of you?
Yeah. Kinda. No, a little on the left.
Okay, let's look at this one.
Hold on. Can I see the house again? Go up a little bit.
You want to see the front?
No, the house. No, that doesn't look like. Let me see here. Where is the stairs for this one?
The stairs are right there, right in front of the front door.
Mine, when you come to the front door, the stairs is gonna be not straight ahead. You can face it, but a little bit towards to the left.
Like this? Do your stairs wrap around?
Yes.
And your bar looks out into your family room and you have a study
Yes.
off of over here, or a bedroom, and you got another bath back here?
Yes. That's it.
This is it? And you got your garage and you have a big extra space in your garage?
Yes.
Okay, and you're upstairs. You've got the 4 bedrooms upstairs
Yes.
with the owner suite and stuff? And you're open to your dining and living room?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so this was called the Lancaster.
Okay. How did you get that anyways?
So we have tons of floor plans, which is odd because you actually have more square footage than this. You've got 3,200, and this was only a 2,800 square foot plan.
Okay.
You may have the Lancaster too. Do you have a bonus room?
I don't know what you mean. Oh, yes, we do.
Yeah, this is what you have. You have the Lancaster too.
Yeah, we made a studio out of it.
Yeah. So you go upstairs and you have the 4 bedrooms plus you have another room.
That's why we bought this house.
Yeah. And here you go. Yeah. See, and the way I knew the other one wasn't it is because of your square footage. So it's around 3,200. So basically what we've been in business since the 90s. So all the new homes that have been built in Central Florida since the 90s, we get their packages, and we have kept their packages, and we have scanned them into here. And so many times, if you're in a house around here that's been built since the 90s, then we will have a copy of the floor plan.
Okay. The only thing is we have a 3 full bath, not 2.5. But that
you've got like this bath. Oh, this one must be built out. The one downstairs is a full one?
Yes.
Yeah, so it was an option that they did on that.
Okay.
Yeah. But the great thing about this is, look, you've got all of your dimensions.
Right. That's
okay. So yours is very easy. You don't have to measure. All right, because you're going by what the builder used to build the house.
Right.
So that's why I took the time to show you this. So, you know, and again, Penny is the one that manages this list. So, you know, get with her or get with me. I can get into it also, especially if you don't know the name of the house. Because we might have to, you know, go through it like this and be like, is it this house? Is it just like what we just did? All right. Back over here, then we have the water page. Okay, page 7. This is like water that is not a puddle. Okay, this is a body of water, and this is whether you can access it, whether you can view it from the house. Whatever water, either the water you're accessing or the water that you're viewing or the water that you're fronting, what extras are on that water. And then at the bottom is the water frontage. So naturally, if you put yes on any of these, you then have to come over here to this section and fill out what kind of water access, what kind of water view, what kind of water extras, and water frontage. Not only is what kind, but you have to have the amount of footage on that water. So if you are fronting water, there's obviously a portion, there's a number of feet of your property that touches the water. We need to know that, okay? If you pick water on any of these, it has to have a name, okay? And then you can put in any additional information. Any questions on that, you guys?
No.
Then we come to a lot of green stuff. And honestly, green building really became a thing in 2010. So we're probably just starting to see those houses start being sold. Again, people who bought those houses knew or paid to have the green features done, they know what they got. So, but they have to be able to prove all of this stuff. They can't just say, oh yes, I have a green, you know, my house is green. Well, okay, I got to see your certifications. I've got to see, you know, all the paperwork that shows that it's different types of green. All right. We do not put the owner's name on here. So scratch that out. We never put the owner's name in the MLS. What questions did you guys, you got a lot of pink here.
Which part again to cross out? Sorry.
The owner's name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't put that in there. But the rest of the sheet, we have a lot of if yes, thens. So if there is an existing lease, then I now have to know the monthly rental amount, the days of notice to the tenant if not renewing, the end date of the lease.
What you select on ownership? Condominium or what?
Ownership, we typically do either fee simple. In this case, it's a single family home, it's fee simple, okay? Or it's condominium ownership. And again, if it was condominium ownership, we would see it up in the property use or land use or zoning. So let me just show you. Coming over to our IMAP, we see that this is single family class 3, single family home, single family, PUD. Nowhere in here does it indicate condominium at all.
Okay.
So it's going to be fee simple.
So when it's not condominium, it's always fee simple?
For what we do, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, home warranty, that's if you're actually offering a home warranty with the sale. Then we get to the HOA. The HOA can be very difficult. Okay. So if there is an HOA, and most of our neighborhoods do have them, then look at all of this pink stuff that becomes required. Is the fee required? What is it? How often do you pay it? And then I must have a contact name to the association. Many times it's a management company. And I must either have an email address and or a phone. But I have to have one of these two things. It's great if I have all of this information, but it cannot go in the MLS without the association contact and either a phone or an email.
Okay.
Okay.
Then we have community features and association amenities and what your fees include. And again, this is all going to be stuff that you may even, because a lot of times sellers don't know this stuff. So sometimes you even have to contact the HOA on behalf of the seller, or sit with the seller while you contact the HOA, because they're going to say, well, you don't live here. And so you can say, here's the person that does live here. They want you to talk to me, and to find out, you know, these different things. But it's very important that you know that. Then we move on to the next page. Again, we still have quite a few of these if yes, thens. So housing for older persons. Is it a deed restricted 55 and over or community? Okay. Is it pets allowed? Okay. Don't worry about pet restrictions. We always put in a standard disclaimer. But if pets are yes, it may ask you if there's any of these restrictions. Same thing with a property being leased. Financing available. Now, realtor information, this is kind of a hodgepodge of a lot of stuff. Foreign seller, in foreclosure, there's no sign on the property. The listing agent is the owner. Owner is motivated. So this is just a bunch of extra stuff. Realtor information confidential. This is whether these disclosures are included. And then your agent ID here, this is your MLS number. So you put down your MLS number because you're going to be the listing agent. We talked about having the compensation that you co-broke the same across.
Yeah.
Yep. And here we go with showing instructions. Really the only one I want to see indicated here is use showing time button. We don't want to really give them any idea of the showing instructions here, because we really want them to click on the showing time button, because then that notifies us that someone's looking at our showing instructions. So we would typically use this use showing time button. Just check this off. The only other one I do down here is pets on premises, because that's such a liability situation. I really want to try and protect my seller there. But then up here in showing time secure remarks, you write down all of your showing instructions. You know, do they need to make an appointment, or is it a courtesy call? Do they need to have a gate code? Do they need to show their license and their real estate license at the gate? Do they need an alarm code for the house? Do they need to know about the cat that's going to try and run outside the door? Do they need to know what the alarm code is and where the alarm is located if the alarm is going to be active and they have to turn it off? Just all of these things you want to put in your showing time remarks. And down here, I've already talked about open means yes. If you left all those boxes, those 4 boxes open on the lines 51 and all these different lines in the listing agreement, then all these will be yes. Now, you are putting your public remarks. This is all the beautiful 3-bedroom in the country, da, 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 da. You are writing that out and you're putting it in your notes section in .loop. Same thing if there are realtor only remarks, and this would specifically be like things that do not convey, along with, oh, I want to add here, go ahead and put down here title company information.
Okay.
Under realtor only remarks, make sure you put in title company information.
Only remarks. I'm sorry, repeat that again.
Title company information. And then you also have to have driving directions.
You
All
have
right.
to have, even though everybody uses GPS in these days?
Yep, they require it. Got to give them driving directions. Come in.
Remind them that Penny is always happy to look over their MLS data entry before they actually submit it.
Penny is always happy to look over your data entry sheet before you submit it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any questions? Yes. What did you say about it, Louis? You said it was what?
No, what?
The sheet. I like that word that you used. I can't remember what it was.
Wow, infinite.
Infinite. Yes, infinite. Yes, it is infinite, but unfortunately, unless we have all that information, it doesn't get put in the MLS. So
What is the order when you do this? Is on your second appointment when your seller is signing the listing agreement?
well, like I said, you know, going back to, let's go back to the listing loop. Hold on for a second. Oh, shoot. I never sent that information to you.
So on the driving directions, we just put like our addresses and that's it?
Driving directions, you're going to start at a crossroads that are nearby. You say from the corner of this street and this street, then you go north, south, east, or west on one of the streets, and then you can start telling people to turn left and right.
Okay.
Okay? But like, if I'm telling you how to get to our office here, I would say from the corner of Highway 50 and McGuire, head south on McGuire, turn right into McGuire Place right before Roberson Road.
So can I use a Popka Vineland road or do I have to go like to Conway?
Yeah, but you have to use a crossroad.
What's
So you could do like a Popka Vineland Road and Sand Lake Road.
Oh, you need to do like 2 main ones.
Yes. Yeah, because you've got to tell people where they are, because you can't just say go south on a Popka Vineland Road. Well,
okay.
South from where, you know, because it's a really long road. And at some point, you're going to be going, you know, you can always be going south on a Popka Vineland Road. But if you've gone past where you're supposed to be going, then you probably need to be going north to get where you're supposed to be going. So you always have to put them at a specific place in space. And
okay.
the only way to do that is at a crossroads.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, hold on one second. I'm sorry. I meant to send you all that stuff, Louise. Okay, I am going to stop our